When was the last time you used a GPS? Have you ever wondered how it came into existence? It all started with our ancestors' curiosity about the heavens. They used the stars as their guide, charting their course across deserts and seas. But celestial navigation had its limitations. Cloudy nights and daylight hours could render it useless, and precision was always a challenge. Enter the magnetic compass, a Chinese invention that became the mariner's best friend. This handheld device, pointing steadfastly north, allowed explorers to venture further into the unknown. But even the reliable compass had its drawbacks, primarily magnetic variations and declination. Maps, too, became essential tools for navigation, yet they were often based on rough estimates and hearsay. Accuracy was a luxury, not a given. These early methods, while groundbreaking in their time, were fraught with limitations. A more precise, reliable system was needed. And that necessity would soon be answered in a way no one could have imagined. But the real game changer came in the form of satellites, thanks to the space race between the USA and the Soviet Union. The space race in the mid-20th century was not just about reaching the moon first. It sowed the seeds for the global positioning system. As the Cold War raged on Earth, another kind of competition was taking shape in the vast expanse of space. The Soviet Union, in a bid to demonstrate its technological prowess, launched the world's first artificial satellite, Sputnik, in 1957. The beeping Russian sphere, orbiting high above, sent shockwaves through the American scientific community. But it also sparked an idea that would revolutionize navigation forever. American scientists, with their curiosity piqued, decided to turn the tables on the Soviet achievement. Using the Doppler effect, they were able to pinpoint Sputnik's location as it moved across the sky. For those unfamiliar, the Doppler effect is the change in frequency or wavelength of a wave in relation to an observer moving relative to the wave's source. It's why a car engine sounds different as it approaches and then passes you. So how does this relate to GPS? Well, by tracking the shift in Sputnik's radio signals, the scientists could calculate its exact orbit. The logic was simple, yet brilliant. If they could determine a satellite's position in space, then why not reverse the process? If the locations of multiple satellites were known, could they not be used to pinpoint a location on Earth? This was the spark. The concept of using satellites for precise navigation was born, but as with all great ideas, turning it into reality would prove to be a challenge. The technology of the time was far from ready. It would take years of research, countless trials and errors, and a good deal of patience before the idea could be realized. But the seeds were sown. The space race had inadvertently given birth to an idea that would change the way we navigate our world. From guiding ships at sea to helping you find the nearest coffee shop. The impact of this idea would be felt in every corner of our lives. In the 1970s, the US Department of Defense took the idea of satellite navigation and made it a reality. The concept was not new, but the technology, the ambition, and the sheer will to make it happen were. The first GPS satellite, a marvel of its time, was launched into the ether of space in the year 1978. Yet it would take until the mid-90s, almost 2 decades later, for the system to be fully operational. Picture this, a network of 24 satellites, each orbiting the Earth twice a day, sending out signals like clockwork. This was the global positioning system, a triumph of human ingenuity and a testament to the power of technology. But at its inception, the GPS was strictly a military project, meant to provide the United States Armed Forces with an unparalleled advantage on the global stage. The civilian use of GPS was initially not a part of the plan. The military's precise, satellite-based navigation was seen as too valuable, too strategic to be shared. But as the years passed, the potential for civilian applications became impossible to ignore. So, in a move that would change the world, the US government decided to allow civilian use of GPS, albeit with limited accuracy. This decision, however, was not as altruistic as it might seem. The military still needed to maintain an edge, so they intentionally degraded the GPS signal available to civilians, a practice known as selective availability. This meant that while the military had access to pinpoint accuracy, civilians had to make do with a less precise version. But as the turn of the century approached, the world was changing. Technology was advancing at an unprecedented pace, and the demand for accurate, reliable navigation was growing. In response to these changes, the US government decided to end selective availability in the year 2000, giving civilians access to the same accurate GPS signals as the military. Little did they know, this military project would soon become an essential part of our daily lives. Today, GPS is so integral to our lives, it's hard to imagine a world without it. It's not just about getting from point A to B anymore. It's about precision agriculture, where GPS guides tractor paths to maximize yield and conserve resources. It's about aviation, where it ensures safe and efficient air travel. It's about marine applications, assisting vessels in navigating the vast oceans. And let's not forget our smartphones, where GPS has become a cornerstone technology, helping us locate the nearest coffee shop, track our fitness routines, or even find that elusive Pokemon. But the GPS story doesn't end here. The future holds exciting advancements. Think of improved accuracy to the level of centimeters, not meters. Imagine increased reliability so we never have to worry about signal loss. So the next time you use your smartphone to find your way, remember the fascinating journey of how GPS came to be. We've journeyed through the evolution of GPS, starting from the primitive era where navigation was guided by the position of celestial bodies. Then came the space race, a period of intense technological competition which gave birth to the idea of GPS. The satellites launched during this era laid the foundation for the development of modern GPS. Moving on, we transitioned into the era of modern GPS, where technology took a giant leap. We saw the advent of personal navigation devices and the integration of GPS into our everyday lives. This revolutionized several sectors, including transportation, communication, and security. Today, GPS has become an essential part of our lives. It's not just about locating a coffee shop or navigating unfamiliar terrains, but also about global communication, scientific research, and even space exploration. And that, my friends, is the fascinating history of GPS, from star navigation to satellites in your pocket. If you'd like to learn about the history of AI or the history of Wi-Fi, then click on this playlist now. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next episode of The History of Random Stuff.